But that's a buckets early as the Knicks lead 22-15. Anthony with 5 points. On the field, they couldn't be beat. Off the field, they couldn't be controlled. Get the inside story from those who lived it. The summer of '86, the rise and fall of the world champion New York Mets. Presented by Lincoln, it premieres Tuesday night on MSG. So Carmelo Anthony, the main player in the blockbuster trade. Chauncey Billups, almost as important for the Knicks, and he spoke at the press conference a couple of hours before tonight's game.
Initially, I'm sure I wasn't probably in the plans, but everybody kind of sees the mentality that we play with together and the cohesiveness that we have on the court, and you know, why would you break that up? So I can understand where they was coming from, and you know, I'm from Denver, as you guys know, and I'm always going to love Denver and what it's all about. I'm like the hometown kid, but you know, it's time to go. It was time to, and I'm excited about this challenge.
He was saying it a lot even after the press conference, talking about energized, and that was hard for Denver to give him up. In fact, Josh Kroenke apologized to the Billups family because he knew how much Chauncey appreciated being in Denver's hometown. He talked about after he retired working for them in the front office, and he didn't necessarily want to include him in the deal. So a lot of emotions for Billups, who wherever he's gone, they rave about his character in addition to his ability to play.
Right, he's proven that in a couple of, well, we saw what happened to the Pistons once they traded him. They were never the same team, so the Knicks are hoping he can bring that experience here to a very young team and in need of an orchestrator in the backcourt.
Good hands from Bogut to come up with a play. Salmons has a path.
Good D here, right here by the Knicks. Good hands by Amari, and the Knicks have it.
You know, Clive, you talk about putting two scores together. Remember when Denver tried to put Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson together? It didn't work. Then they traded Iverson to Detroit and brought in a floor general like Billups, and that was the year that they went to the Western Conference Finals. So just because you have two prolific scores, it's not going to result in wins. You need to have a lot going on. You need a commitment to doing the dirty work to get your victories, whether it's defense, whether it's rebounding, whether it's sacrificing your individual numbers, right?
Of course, the harmony. You need the harmony on the offense. Nick shows something right there, a good pick and roll. But the Knicks still have glaring weaknesses after acquiring Melo. They still are a weak rebounding team, and they need stops. They give up 105 points, and they score 106.
Clive, we talk about you and Earl, and that worked. Bob McAdoo and Spencer Haywood didn't necessarily work.
Right. That was a real calamity. Neither guy wanted to give up the ball, so there was no chemistry there.
Well, the year that Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets went to the conference finals, 2009, and took the Lakers to 6 games, it was a very tough series. It was his lowest scoring average in 4 years. And his assists were up. He was a better defender. And after that year, they talked about how he was becoming a complete player. That's the kind of year and the sacrifice in the overall game they need for him to take the next step.
Yeah, and Stoudemire as well. He might have to give up a little bit.
Silva just in the game rattles it in. I mean, it's pretty simple in a lot of ways, but they need to have both of them, both players who are just explosive, dynamic scorers. They need to have a more, Billy Walker knocks down a 3, consistent commitment to defense.
Yep, that's right. And they know that. I mean, Melo mentioned it in the press conference. He started talking about defense, so he knows what it's going to take to reach the next level.
Silva, nice fake to get rid of Williams, and then banks it in.
2 consecutive hoops by hooping along.
And a 23-year-old from Turkey makes it a 5-point game. Tony Douglas.
Also, I think the onus is on Douglas, Mike. He's been labeled as a shooting guard, but he has to learn to orchestrate the team.
Well, Billups cannot play the same amount of minutes as Fields is called for the foul as Raymond Felton.
Right.
And that's where Douglas is going to have to come through.
That's true. He's going to have to take charge out there. We know Douglas can score, averaging 9 a game. So he's going to have to be a little more creative off the dribble.
Best news for Douglas is who his new partner is. Chauncey Billups is known for mentoring young point guards. Both Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook, 2 all-star point guards, said that their time with Billups this summer for the United States and the World Championships The number one thing they took from it was various lessons from Billups. They both raved about how Billups really gave them a lot of things to work on and things to help them with their game. He's been like that. He's been a mentor to young players for a long time.
And this is a crucial season for Billups as well. One more year on his contract. Next year, $14 million, but there's a $4 million buyout in that contract. So I'm sure he wants to play longer, so it's up to him as well to continue to play well.
Keon Dooling is in the game for Milwaukee. John Brockman as well. Steinmeier drives on Brockman, leans in, just barrels over him. And Steinmeier now with 7 points.
Steinmeier, the bulldozer finesse. Tony almost with another steal.
Salmons floating away. Ilyasova right there for the foul.
This kid in the pass has played well against the Knicks now. He's got 6 points in the last 3 minutes.
In the past, everybody in the Bucks has played well. It's been one of those teams the Knicks have struggled with. As Douglas knocks down the three. Tony Douglas 3 for 3 off the bench. He's got 7 points. Corey Maggette nearly poked away.
Maggette has been one of the catalysts for this team, averaging 16 points off the bench.
Shot clock at 6.
No fouls to give for the Knicks.
Dooling hoisted up. Won't go. Rebound Ilyasova. Gets it back again. And the quarter comes to an end. Carmelo Anthony had 5 points, couple of rebounds in 8 minutes before he picked up 2 fouls. The other new Knick, Chauncey Billups, hit a 3-pointer, had 4 assists. Knicks as a team, 59% from the field as they start a new era with the new players. First quarter complete here in Madison Square Garden. Knicks lead the Bucks 33-24.